it's 10 years today, or the 10 years, 2024, that I started out on my own, saying, look, I wasn't going to work under anybody. I would start this whole journey of, being an automobile engineer or a technician or whichever name people choose to call us. But I love to tell people, look, I'm a mechanic. I don't want to fancy quote it.
So you look here and smile. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Growing up, my parents always said I was a handy person. I would take my toys apart, I'll put them back together, and it kind of, lingered as I grew up. So my dad encouraged us to learn a skill, and I just went, I said, okay, I wanted to fix radios and televisions. That was what I started out learning. And then I had this dream of wanting to be a pilot. So along the line, said, by the time I finished secondary school, said, they weren't taking people straight out from secondary school any longer. I had to, have a first degree. So what was the closest or the best first degree that I could get? It was mechanical engineering. So that was how I started my journey, really. So I went in to study mechanical engineering. But then my dad again once kept pushing and said, look, why, just stop at just studying it? There were workshops around us, and then he encouraged that, look, okay, be going to the workshop during your free time, that's holidays and all that. So that kind of pushed me to learn the basics aside from what I was taught in school. And then by the time I finished school, just like the normal, okay, as a graduate, I started looking for white-collar jobs, looking for work in NNPC, NDDC, any place that, you felt that an engineer would work. But then I wasn't able to get anything. So the straw that broke the camel's back was when I went for an interview with Nigerian Breweries, and then I got to the final stage, and then something happened, and they said, look, we will not be able to take you. I was totally broken, and I said, no, look, enough is enough. I have this skill, and I just made a complete turnaround, and then started out. I said, okay, went and did some other courses, and then started working under somebody, at least to hone the skills that I already had. That's how the whole journey started. My dad used to have a Niva ladder that was one of my major learning tool or learning car, because I would learn in the workshop, and then if the car broke down along the road or in the house, I would do what I could to see to get it to work or get it to start. So that's like the first one that I can remember. The second time was it was a Land Rover, a Freelander one, and somebody brought it, and nobody really wanted to touch it. So I just said, look, let me go at it. And I went at it. It was a very long process, but at the end of it, both me and the man, we are still friends till today, because the car suffered both of us. Some days it will work, some days it will not work, but at the end of it, it was just an awesome experience for me.
What do you do for you, Baba?
It's service, like changing the air cleaner.
What does this one do is it for the engine or for the?
This one is protecting dust, so filter the dust from engine.
And these are new.
This new one, we are trying to replace it.
What's in this one? What is there?
Oil filter.
And even get manufacturing date. It was manufactured on the 16th of June, 2023. So you see, when you use original stuff, you can actually know when it will die, and when it will be alive.
This one will last 6 months, more than 6 months.
Okay, so that means you're supposed to service like 6 months.
Yes.
I tell people, if you do not specialize, you probably will have an idea of a vast majority of vehicles. But in my own case, I have realized that jumping from one make or model to another model usually messes with me. So I face a vehicle and I'm looking at it from the angle of, say, on a Range Rover, this car behaves like this, or this symptom in a Range Rover is like this. And I'm transferring that idea to a Toyota. It doesn't work because there are things that a Toyota can get by with, a Range Rover will not get by with, you know. So I have always encouraged people that, look, be skillful at what you do, then take a bracket, say, oh, I will work on 1, 2, 3. It gives you some depth into what, so anytime any of these 3 cars or 3 made models come in, you are on your tiptoe, not trying to look for am I going to start in this vehicle. Now, there are times when you can randomly, you know, see a broken down vehicle and you want to assist. It happens. But then once I see a Benz, I see a Range Rover, I see a BMW, I already know where their fuse box is. But there are some cars, by the time they come in, the first question is, you want to check a fuse. You now start thinking, where is the fuse box, you know? And like I do even the basic thing, if I'm driving a Range Rover, the fuel tank is on the right. Toyota is on the left. So that's how it also works with these things. That's my advice really to most of our mechanics. I tell them, look, don't say, oh, I'm a general person. It makes it more difficult for you to handle some things because you would definitely miss out or miss something or overlook something when you are checking or when you are doing your job.
My name is James. I base on Range Rover, all it about Range Rover. Call me anything about Range Rover, we'll respond. 5.0, 3.0, anything British, German car. So I operate. I train from Coach Harris, who teach me work from Coach Harris, and I learned the work from Coach Harris. Since that 2011, when I started the work, I never fail up one day. This engine master, I'm a Range Rover doctor. So I get confidence to pieces and now fix your car and deliver it successfully.
The first Rover car I touched was, the first one actually touched was a Defender, a 2098 Defender, the very old one that they used to carry sand. After that, it was the Freelander one. That was like one of the earliest Land Rovers that was in Nigeria. After that, the 2003 Range Rover. So those were my earliest experiences with Range Rovers at that time. So the major change is the electrical patterns, you know, from simple to like extremely high end. So the mechanical parts are still basic, you know, you have lower arms, upper arms, basically almost same shape, same locations, you know, just the same way you'd fix them. But then what has been a total turnaround really has been the electricals. It's been, you know, it's gone from something that, you know, you could use a tester to check till something you just need only a diagnostic tool to, you know, go with. So from 2003 to, you know, 2023, the electricals are totally, you know, there's a wide berth in between the two.
What is the longest distance you've driven this car to?
With the LR4, I've driven from Lagos to Kano.
What was your maximum speed?
I can't say my maximum speed on the right.
What's your maximum speed? This guy will be driving LR, and then you will see him at 150, 200, sending you a screenshot. And I'm asking myself, who is recording the speedometer? Because it's only one in the car. At 200 kilometers, he'll be sending you a screenshot. This guy has finished speedometer for most of the cars I know. Which car have you never finished the speedometer?
Well, my 2006 Range Rover, I couldn't finish the speedometer because it has a factory speed limiter. But every other car that I think I have driven, I've been able to, you know, like exhaust the speedometer.
How do you feel when you do that?
Well, I just, you know, joy.
You can see, so when people say I run, I'll be like, I learn from the best. See my leader here. I never finished one speedometer before for my life, but there are some roads that will tempt you actually.
Roads are very tempting, especially when you're in the north between, you know, like Kaduna to Kano, when the road was still very good.
Yeah, that road was very.
It just makes you, you know.
And that road is so clean and long.
Just keep stepping on the speedometer, and then you don't even realize it when you have gotten that far. So it's okay. So my toughest challenge was the 2015-2016 Range Rover. It came in accidented, so I took up the challenge of, you know, replacing the body. When we saw the car in the US, it was an accident. We felt, it was something that we could, you know, a panabita could fix or we could cut. And when the car came in and got to the workshop, it was a total wreck. and we took it upon ourselves, to get a new body, transfer the electricals from the accidented body to this new body, engine, gear, in fact, practically everything. It got to a point where customer had mixed feelings. At some points, he'll be patient. At some points, he would go really mad, because he was not being able to understand or figure out why, oh, this thing you said will take 2 months. We're at 6 months, and it doesn't just seem to have any end anymore. But then today, he's driving the car. I was even with him yesterday, and I asked him, oh, how far with the car? He said, oh, it's there because he was driving another car. What of this? I said, it's parked at home. So I think that was my, one of the jobs that has ever stressed me out the most. One, I was sourcing for parts. I was trying to get connections to work because, okay, you are working with a team. And honestly, some of the things I didn't take them out by myself, or I took them out by myself and then fixing it back. I said, oh, help me fix this. And then they put it the other way around. And then I have to come and then start all over again, to get it to work. So when that car eventually started, it was such a celebration in the workshop because everybody was just, people didn't believe that it was going to happen. So I think that was my greatest challenge since I started. Our major challenge as mechanics is parts. Now, the reason why I say it's parts is the cost of brand new parts as versus the used parts. There's a wide bet in between. Now, for some cars, we are lucky enough to have, access to new parts, brand new parts for almost any part of the vehicle. Land Rovers are there. But when we come to cars like Ford, to get brand new parts has been a major challenge for us. I think it's maybe the market or the importers don't really see a market or hadn't seen a market for it for years. This year, the past 2-3 years has been one of the greatest markets for Fords in Nigeria. So we now have many Fords coming in, but then getting brand new parts is a challenge.
How come the oil is black?
Well, sometimes cars come in like that where the owner has not been faithful with his oil changes. When the oil stays longer than it should in the engine, it gets really, really black like that. Now, those are some of the challenges we actually face. I try to tell customers, look, change your oil just when it's due. If you see, each time we service cars, we put service stickers so that even if we are not close to you can easily see the date and know that, okay, once it's so date, you let us know, and then we can come for another service.
So I hear something about this Range Rover. So you said it's the strongest of all the range.
Well, for some reason, a lot of people swear by it. And at some point, I said, look, it was like the most balanced. Driving it on the highway for me provided like the most balanced driving experience. I could exceed maximum speed with it. When you hit certain speeds, the vehicle more like lowers itself and you are gliding and you don't feel like you are driving very fast. So in Nigeria, most people who use a sport will tell you, look, I won't use another car because it will take you anywhere and bring you back.
Wow.
Currently, I have almost 11 people who are working with and around me. Because I realized, I tell myself, look, I can't do it all alone. I started up probably going around with one boy. He would go for home service, or go pick up, and then the job started growing, getting bigger. The workshop started growing bigger, and it ended up to me needing, extra hands. So there are some people who are still, they are trainees. Some are on IT, some are from school. There are those who are learning. And then I have those who have been with me for at least 4 or 5 years.
My name is Ezekiel Ajigin.
How long have you been with this garage?
It's been 2 years now. Yeah, it's been 2 years.
Are you still in school?
No. Just finished the secondary school, so I started to, learn work. I went to Tinker College. Yeah. So, I just love the job, mechanic. So it's okay, Sha. You just have to focus and. No. You have to focus now to learn the work now.
My name is Adebeshin Jibril. I've been a month here. I came for IT, EST University of Benin Republic. So I used to go to school and Next year, I'll be done with my school in 2025 January. So I have my certificate in mechanical and production engineering by next year. So once I'm done with my school, I'll be stable here. Maybe I'll use like 3 years more with him. Yes, there have been some challenges in the work, but not with people. Sure. I want to be specialized. For now, I would say Range Rover, but let me say in the future, it may be BMW.
I know that lots of people feel that mechanics are dishonest, or that you can't get an honest mechanic. And I always try to dissuade them or change their mind or their perception about it. Yes, in every sphere of life, every circle, there are dubious people, there are dishonest people. I tell my boys, if it's something that we can fix, you tell the customer, you give him all available options. Sir, this money is not going to be enough. This is what I found out, this is what I found out. It would save you a whole lot of stress. I've learned that many of us don't know how to say no. If you say no, it solves a whole lot of things. Because if you say, sir, sorry, I can't work on this. Now, another thing that makes mechanics dishonest is their greed. You don't know how to do this. This vehicle comes to you. He's your customer. You know him. You've known him 5 years. You don't know how to fix this vehicle, but he's your customer. Take the job, outsource it to somebody who has the skill. You will get a good result. But you don't want to outsource it because you probably want to eat all the money, and then somewhere along the line, you ruin everything. Now, you'll ruin the person's trust in you, you ruin your relationship, and you just create a bad name of mechanics as a whole. So it's a campaign that I have personally been trying to make that look. Yes, we have bad mechanics, just like we have bad people in every career. But then there are people who can actually be trusted and relied upon. I think that's the best we can do for ourselves really as mechanics. It's an exciting journey. You can make it. Just put your mind to it. I've seen it happen a whole lot. I've seen people who started together, and today they are doing exceptionally well, which is really what we hope for and pray for. My name is Blossom Ajoamire. So it's a pleasure to have my friend and brother Sheyi come around. I've known him a few years, and within the time we've been together, it's been, this pleasurable thing, repairing and fixing his Land Rover. So there are times he calls me early in the morning, sometimes he calls me late at night, but the truth is that we always resolve all the issues that come up when he calls.